The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello and welcome to another edition of our program CHW in Action with your host, your CHW, Rafael Calderon. As always, I like to point out that CHW stands for Community Health Worker in Action because I am always in action, trying to bring you my community of Nashua, community of Manchester, the whole state of New Hampshire, the whole New England region, and even outside of the New England region. I'm reaching out to Raleigh, North Carolina. My friends, I have some new friends that I made in the Vermont area. So I'm trying to reach out and make new friends and let people know that I'm doing this TV show live now on Facebook, so that I open the door or basically an invitation for anyone that has a topic that has to do with health and with living a healthy lifestyle to basically talk to me. And I'm also going to open the show up to do actual real interviews on Facebook. So right now I'm starting doing it solo because I want to set the foundation on the new format. But the idea is that eventually I will have guests, and also I'm going to go out on location and record, videotape, what they call B footage, cool stuff and exciting stuff that I can bring into the TV show. So basically what I'll do, the plan with this new format, this new TV show, is that right now I'm starting it solo, like I just said, but the goal is to have guests come on, like I used to do, and have regular interviews, but then also to go on location, to go to different places and record different events, and even do on location interviews, so I can go around the whole New England region, all 6 states in the New England region and beyond the New England region, and basically bring people exciting new ways in how to live an ideal lifestyle, or new ideas, to introduce people to new ideas on how to live an ideal lifestyle. And with that, so we're back to basically the idea of this TV show is that I want to send a message. I want people to live a healthy lifestyle because I think that's my life's purpose. And I do this because a long time ago, my life was not so ideal. I was not in a good place, and I feel like I lost. The best way that I can explain it is that I lost like 3 years of my life from the fall of 2006 until the winter of 2009. I was really not in a good place. And what brought me back was my reconnection with God and the clarity. It was a clear message to me that my purpose in life is to be useful to others, and I wanted to find a vehicle where I could reach out to the most people, and this is it. So that's why this TV show is so important to me. That's why I try to keep it exciting and interesting, and that's why now we're in this new format where we're coming live to you on Facebook. So I want to tell you a little bit about my history. My history when it comes to this work of mine, this TV community health work and my TV productions, goes way back till when I went to college. I went to Fitchburg State College back in 1990 until 1997, and yes, actually, I'm sorry, it was 1992. Yeah, because I graduated from Lawrence High School in 1990, and then I went to college. I went to the Dominican Republic for a year or so, and then I came back to the U.S. in 91, and I started going to Fitchburg State College in 1992. Now, when I went to school, I started in 1992, and my vision was always to be a TV producer. My major is in TV production, media, Bachelor's of Science, media TV production, right? Because I wanted to create a production where anyone who watched it could use it to make their lives better. And I can tell you that I remember just like yesterday how I used to walk down the Hurley He Halls. That's the dorm where I used to live. And every time I walked down those steps, I kept thinking to myself, I want to make this amazing TV production that everyone that watches it can make their lives better. That was the purpose of me going to college. And now, after so many years, before I go into that, let me tell you that I mentioned that I went to college from 1992 until 1997. It's not because I was not smart and I couldn't finish my classes. What happened is that in 1994, I decided to join the U.S. Army, and I went away to the U.S. Army, and I didn't go full-time. I was away, but I was part-time while I was away, but I was stationed in Missouri, and I was there for a while. And then I went on a mission to Africa, to Kenya, Africa, and over there, I met this captain that reminded me the purpose why I joined the Army. I joined the U.S. Army because I needed discipline. I used to be a DJ when I was in college, so I used to have all these, I used to throw all these parties. I was having all this fun, and I was going away from my studies, and I forgot. I forgot that I went to college with a scholarship. And as you know, a scholarship, you have to maintain your grades. And I had sort of forgotten that. I was having way too much fun. So I decided that I didn't want to flunk out of college. I didn't want to let my family down. So I needed discipline. That's how I ended up going to the U.S. Army. However, in 1996, I met Captain Sakari in Kenya, Africa, when we were out on a mission. And we had a long conversation because he saw me get along so well with the Kenyan soldiers. And at that time, I was a platoon leader. So he saw leadership skills in me and human communication skills in me. And he said, you should use those skills to send a message. What message do you want to send to people in general, right? The message is that I want to be useful. In those days, I didn't know. I was young. I just knew that I wanted to do something good. Now I know that my purpose in life is to be useful to others, to help people live a better life, to not make the mistakes that I made. And for those that have made those mistakes and are now going through those, what I call downfall years or downfall situations, that there's a way out. There's hope. If you are unhappy with your life, right, it's easy to come back to a good place. You just have to have guidance, what I call spiritual guidance. And that's what my work is all about. It's not me telling you how to make your life better, but to show you how. And I do that by by showing you how I did it, right? So basically, I figured my goal from when I came out of college was to make a TV production. So throughout the years, I graduated in 1997. It is now 2018. Throughout the years, I've been doing TV productions here and there, trying to maintain my passion, right? And then 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years, I was lucky enough to meet my friends here at Access Nashua, and they are helping me make my dream come true. And that's a segue for me to tell you, it sounds like I need water. See, this is live. I don't practice anything. This is all coming from me, from inside of me. Okay, so a nice segue to why I have my toys in here is because previously I did a TV show on all my toys, I call them toys, but they're tools. The tools that I use to help someone or show someone, teach someone how to create their ideal lifestyle, right? So that TV show I have my belly button healing tool here, the How to Live a Healthy Lifestyle with a Chronic Condition book. I had my BR gargles that I used to show people my work in the form of video. And I had books that I read that have helped me basically be useful to people. So I had all my toys there, right here, on how I work. Now these toys are my passion. These toys are my passion, right? And I'll tell you the evolution. These are all video cameras. I use them all to make video productions. I started with a small high-definition Sony camera. It was about that big, right? And the last time that I went to record in Connecticut at the Longworth, I love the Longworth in New Haven, Connecticut, I dropped it into the sea and I lost it. So I don't have it here to show you. So for some time, I had to borrow a camera from here, from the studio, which, the studio was nice enough to let me borrow, so I can keep doing my TV productions. And all this that I'm telling you has a purpose. I will tell you that it all comes down to the movie that I made called Elixir. But I want you to know where I come from. So I used to do a lot of recording with my old, small, high-definition camera, but it was a basic camera. It didn't have a microphone. It was small, basically. The image was really good, but it was grainy if I zoomed out. If I got too close to something, the video became grainy. So it wasn't professional material, so I never thought about making an actual movie with that camera. But then once I started doing my TV productions here at Access Nashua, and I bought one of the nice cameras that they have here. They're small, but they're semi-professional. They're really good. They do a really good job. Then I started thinking about the movie, right? So in 2014, when I had what I call a spiritual experience that got me to think of making this movie called Elixir, so that I can send a message to people, the message of living, creating an ideal lifestyle, living good, so on and so forth. Then I started recording with that small camera from here, from the studio, right? And then I was recording with the studio, and I noticed that one of our producers, his name is Chris, he had all this stuff for sale in his private, studio, arsenal, what have you, arsenal of TV production. And Chris gave me a really, really good deal on this camera. This camera here is like the best thing that I've had. I mean, this is my best friend. So I've been using with this camera for about 2 years. And then as I'm using it, I mean, you can see how big it is, but it has a really nice view to it. So as I was using it, my younger brother, Julio, he gave me this as a gift, right? This little small camera. And in reality, he gave me one of these. In reality, it was a birthday gift. I forget what year it was, but it was recently. So he gave me this gift because he knows my passion, he knows what I want to do. And my younger brother, he gets me, all my brothers get me, and I'm working on my sisters, but my brothers get me. I'm a dreamer, I want to do something with my life, I want to be useful with my life, and they support me in any way that they can. So he got me this camera. It was one of these actually, because what happened is that I let my nephew borrow this camera, and my nephew, something happened, he lost it, it broke, something happened. But he was mature enough, I call him my little man, even though he's taller than me now. He was mature enough to go and buy the exact same camera. And he could have just given it to me and I would have never known the difference. But because my oldest brother, Anthony, raised him the right way, he was man enough to confess what had happened and replace my camera. So that's why this camera has so much meaning to me. And it's small, but it's a nice camera. It records in 1080p, which is really good video technology. It's sort of like a GoPro camera, but it's not supposedly as professional, but it has a really, really nice video signal to it. I love the image, I love the clarity, it's awesome. So I've been using this along with this to make my movie now for 2.5 years, right? And it's been going great, but then towards the end of last year, I had this phone. Well, I got this phone. This is a Note 8 from Samsung. It has a 4K capacity. It has a dual camera. It's a really nice phone. It makes a really nice video. If you go onto my website, www.chwforever.com, you'll find my latest video. Has me by the ocean, picking up stones for my girlfriend, my beautiful flower, and the quality is amazing. So I started using this video to make the movie towards Elixir, and it's been a progression, right? Because I'm now recording in 4K. So I went from regular HD with a small camera to a bigger professional camera, which is HD, but really, really good. I mean, this is professional quality. And from that, I went to 1080p, the new technology, thanks to my brother and my nephew. And then I got myself this Note 8, and it really is an amazing, go to my website so you can see what I mean, right? And then about a month and a half ago, I got me this 360 view digital cameras, or Samsung camera, which also records in 4K. Now, the beautiful thing about this camera records in 4K and it does live recording. I've used it a few times, so I can go to a place and I can just hit live and I can go onto YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to use it more as I promote my movie, Elixir, and you'll see, I'll share everything with you. I mean, all my friends on Facebook, all the people that follow me on YouTube, and even people that are not that social media inclined, I send them emails, my video links via emails and via texts. And I'm gonna send everyone my work with this camera. It really is amazing. You can see everything with this camera, and it's clear, it's 4K technology. So I now have the capacity to do live recording with the on 4K, which is also, it's also very, very amazing. So this has been my progression. Okay, I have been using all these cameras for different things because I want to create. Well, I wanted to, because it's done. It is done. My movie Elixir is done. Okay, I've been wanting to create this professional movie that I can give someone, and I can tell them, listen, watch this. If you're unhappy with your life, if you're sad, if you're depressed, if there's something wrong with your life, if there's an area of your life that you're just not happy with, watch this movie. It's 45 minutes. It's going to change your life. Right now it's 45 minutes because I need to find sponsors to fill up the space. But basically it's 45 minutes. It is on my website. And the whole idea is that I want people to watch it and if they value it, to buy it. But I'm not going to try to sell it here because this is my Access TV show and this is just informational. I'm just telling you what the situation is. So basically, Elixir, the movie, is made. It is on my website, www.chwforever.com, and the idea of the movie is the same message that I had back in 1992 when I was going to Fitchburg State College, and I used to walk down those Hurley Hall steps. It's the same vision. I wanted to create something that anyone could use to make their lives better. Because the reality is that I'm a community health worker, but before became a community health worker, I've been a professional life coach for more than 10 years. I know that people struggle with things in silence. I know a lot of people right now that are living in depression, that are living very unhappy lives, and they don't know why, and they don't know how to fix it. They also don't want to talk about it. They don't want to admit it to themselves. They think that that's the way life is. They say to themselves, oh, it is what it is. And I'm here to tell you, my friends, that life is not that it is what it is thing. Life is what you make it. And I can tell you by personal experience, watch my movie and you can see I talk about the stuff that I went through for almost 3 years. It was I call it my downfall. And it started in 2006 when I knew I was going to lose at that time, the woman I was seeing, my former fiance. I knew I was going to lose my home. I knew that I had been associating myself with the wrong people for me, and that the woman I was engaged to was the wrong woman for me. But I got so off track. I got so far away from my source, which is God, that I lost sight of what's good and real and meaningful and with substance. And when I got away from that, I just became weaker and weaker and weaker until I got lost. And once I got lost, I lost everything. But you know what? In losing everything, I also gained everything. Because that stuff happened, I started losing things towards the end of 2006. And until the winter, it was in, I think it was in February of 2009. That I got down on my knees and I prayed and I prayed and I got my answer, and my answer was, you stop doing what you were doing. You stop being useful to people. And when you stop being useful, you forgot who you were. You forgot who you were, so you started hanging out, spending time with people that you knew were not going to help you get better or get back to who you were, but you didn't want to face it. You didn't want to admit it, so you kept going forward. And now the result is you got lost. But now you're here. You found me. God said this, because God is never lost. People say I found God. You never find God. God is always in the same place. God is always in your heart and in your mind and in your soul, right? So you never find God. Find God is you open your heart to God. You pray with passion, and then God listens, right? And when God listens, He sends the Holy Spirit to you, and you make a connection. And once you make a connection, you can see things more clearly. That's what happened to me. I began to see things more clearly back in February of 2009. At that time, I was living in Meriden, Connecticut. I was all alone. I didn't know anyone in that city. I had just moved to Meriden because I came to realize that my former fiance was not a good woman for me. She's a good woman in her own terms, and God bless her, and I hope she's doing well and all that fun stuff. But she was not a woman for me, and I just couldn't see that for many years. But when I saw it, when I realized it, I wanted to get away from that. I wanted to get away from what I felt was not good for me, and the farthest way that I could get was Meriden at that time, because we used to live in New Haven. So I got to Meriden, where I didn't know anyone, right? Where I had to basically start over. And I found myself being, what do you call that, when people, when you're at a job and they politely don't need you anymore, but they don't fire you? I'm trying to forget, laid off. I was laid off from my job. So I had basically no job, because if you've dealt with unemployment in any state, you know that they never pay you the full amount that you used to make. So there I was, unemployed, alone, let's say lonely, because I was still having feelings, because you can realize that a woman is not good for you, but that doesn't mean that you can kill off those feelings from night to day, or from night to dawn. You can't do that. What you know is that she's not good for you, so you have to pay the price and basically wait until you're over her. So that was going through that situation, right? I had nothing to hold on to. I had a beautiful apartment that I was falling behind on. I had no idea what to do. And I guess you have to get really, really low to realize that God is the only answer to get out of trouble. So thank God that I had the common sense to remember that. And I prayed, and then God found me. And then I said to myself, from now on, I'm going to dedicate everything that I have within me to be useful to others, to go back to being who I am. And that's how I arrived at thinking of making that video production. So you see the point from 1992 up until now, 2018. And to be clear, my movie was done last year in 2017. But last year, I thought that I needed sponsors in order to launch my movie. That's what I thought. But this year, but then I didn't find them, of course. So because most people like to support things that are scandalous, things that are, that involve sexuality or what's popular or what gets people attention or what promotes drinking, alcohol, technology, excessive technology, because I love technology. That's what people find appealing. People don't want to hear about being healthy, about living a healthy lifestyle, about having a conscience, developing a new consciousness to live a better life. Usually people they shy away from that. And people that have money, like businesses, they tend to invest their money in what's going to give them their money back. So my thinking was, well, I need these people, I'm not getting them, so I might as well just put my idea on hold. But guess what? This year, what I did is I sacrificed some things, I worked harder than I needed to work, and the movie's complete. And thanks to this guy, I mean, this camera is my best friend. Because even though I have all this cool new technology, this is what started it all. It started it all 2.5 years ago. It given me wonderful footage, wonderful memories, right? So now, thanks to all these toys in total, but it started with this. Now the movie's done, and now it's available on my website. And go ahead and watch it. I'm not going to push it too much. I just want you to know that it's done, because I've been saying for months. I've been talking about Elixir for months. Now it's done. And just so you know, or I'm sure you know, but Elixir means like a magical potion, a magical cure to everything. So when a person in the movies, that's how I learned about Elixir. In the movies, when somebody was ill, they would give them an elixir, something to restore health, or to prolong health, or to prolong life. So my thinking is that when people are depressed, they lose the desire to enjoy life, to live life to the fullest, right? So to me, they are sick, they are ill, they have a chronic condition. How do you cure a chronic condition? By giving an elixir. But an elixir in the form of a system on how to create let's say, I won't say to you, let's say a person. Let's do an imaginary person. So to tell a person, this is an elixir. This is an elixir. It's a drink that if you take it, it's going to make you better. It's going to cure all your illnesses. And all you have to do is just drink it. So in that sense, if you watch my movie, it's based on how to create your ideal lifestyle via living a healthy lifestyle, via using Rafael Calderon's Wheel of Life philosophy. Only that, instead of Rafael Calderon's Wheel of Life philosophy, I'm now calling it CHW Forever's Wheel of Life philosophy. The only reason why I changed the name from Rafael's Wheel of Life philosophy to CHW Forever Wheel of Life philosophy is because I'm trying to do away with my ego. I don't want my work to be about me. I want it to be about how my work can help people. CHW Forever is an extension of me, because it's a company that I created to be the community health worker, the CHW, that organizations or hospitals or companies or whatever would not allow me to be. People would not hire they would not hire me as a community health worker, because I wanted to work on teaching people on how to better manage their social determinants of health, because that's how a CHW can help someone become healthier. But mainly when the jobs, I shouldn't say the companies, organizations, or what have you. I should say that most employers that hire a CHW, a community health worker, they have a specific role. For example, like find out how many people have high blood pressure or low blood pressure. Find out how many people have diabetes. Find out how many people need to see their doctor for their eyes if they have diabetes, because as you know, diabetes can cause blindness. Another way to use a CHW is they're told, okay, go out into the streets and do this or do that. All those are really, really good things and very useful and very helpful. But at the end of the day, In my opinion, what people need is a way to live their lives better, healthier, to be shown how to do that. A lot of times, a person would go into a doctor, and the doctor would say, well, you need to eat healthy, you need to exercise, you need to do all these things. But the doctor doesn't really know to tell them how. And I say the doctor, not that all doctors don't know. I'm sure that there are doctors that do know. In fact, one of the best doctors I know, who is in my video production, I won't mention his name now only because I said that some places don't support the CHW role the way I think it should be. But he's a great doctor, and he talks about that. He talks, even if you feel healthy, you need to see your doctor. That is part of managing your social determinants of health. Don't wait to be sick to then go see a doctor. Live a healthy lifestyle so that you don't need to see one. Does that make any sense? So that's why I created CHW Forever, because I wanted to be an independent community health worker that produced positive outcomes. And I can tell you, if you go to my website, if you email me, if you call me, I can show you testimonies of people that I have helped make their lives better by using this philosophy, right? CHW Forever's Wheel of Life philosophy. I have testimonies. I have proof that it works. So it works. It's available. My classes, my healthy classes, the classes themselves are free, right? What I charge for is my CHW services. But if someone comes to me and says, I have a chronic condition, can you give me some idea on how to manage it? I'll sit down with that person and I'll tell them how to manage it. I do that for free. Those are my classes. It's when it comes to people telling me, okay, I need you to work with me, then that's different because that's going to take time. So I created Elixir as a movie based on my CHW work, and again, based on how to create your ideal lifestyle by living a healthy lifestyle, by using CHW Forever's Wheel of Life philosophy, because I have seen it work. It worked for me. It has worked for other people. It will work for you too. So if you have the time, go to my website. You have it right here, www.chwforever.com. Check out the movie. It's 46 minutes, but it's 46 minutes of fun and exciting and helpful and instructional information. And have many cool places that I visited and stuff like that. I love the movie, okay? I could go on and on and on forever, but I have run out of time. So I want to thank you for your time. I sincerely appreciate it, okay? Well, I'm just gonna say thank you. God bless you. Have a good night.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.